Hi friends, hello, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I do appreciate that. So, by being here, if you are someone who is interested in health, if you are someone who is a health student, whether you are a physician associate, nurse practitioner, a nurse, a doctor, whatever the case may be, if you're someone who's interested in health education, symptoms of different diseases, please stay with me and don't forget to subscribe. So today I am going to talk to you guys about the 10 things. So I said 10 things I wish I could have told, or I wish I could have told myself or told someone as a new graduate. So it's very hard being a new graduate and actually landing that first job. Initially, you're searching for a job and then you get the job, and then what do? Usually you end up panicking because it's one thing being a student, it's another thing when you are actually now working and actually being paid to do the job. So it can be intimidating. So I'm going to go through 10 different things that I wish to just share with new graduates out there. So the first one is be patient with yourself. Very, very important. You are a new graduate. You don't know everything. I don't think anyone knows everything anyway. But so be patient to yourself. Be gracious to yourself. Just allow yourself time to grow. Number 2, seek mentorship. So if you don't already have a mentor, usually you have a mentor that you have as a new graduate officially, but you can also find someone who you vibe with, someone who will be, who you look up to, someone who already has been in the job longer than you. And possibly for us physician associates, it's best that you find that person who is actually also a physician associate and has traveled the road before, because they can actually give you that motivation that you need as a new graduate. They help you in terms of what things you need to do, just giving you perspective, and you can even talk to them when you've had a bad day, because you will have bad days. You will have good days, you will have bad days. So you can share that with your mentor. So great to find that person that understands you professionally, that you can share these things with, even your fears, your wins, whatever the case may be. Okay? So, number 3, you need to remember that you are continuously learning. So it's almost like, when you first had your driving license. Yes, you've got the driving license. It doesn't mean that you're an expert at driving. It just gives you the official go-ahead to drive. So in the same way, as a new graduate, a medical student, physician associate graduate, whatever the case may be, there is still time to learn. So this is the time when you are now even learning more stuff. So be open-minded about learning new things. Be open-minded about being corrected if you have done something that maybe you shouldn't have done, or if you're not sure of something, don't be ashamed to ask the other members of the team who are more experienced than you are. That doesn't mean you're a failure. That just means that you recognize where your scope ends and where you need to get the help from someone else. Number 4 is be an advocate for your patients. So the whole thing with most of us health professionals, you go into this wanting to help others. If you are someone who has read through statements, the personal statements of students who want to do a medical course, helping others seems to always come up. So you have gone into this profession to help others. So it only makes sense that when you start working, you need to be an advocate for your patients. So these systems are not always perfect. You might find that you speak to a patient and certain things have not been done, or maybe certain things which should have been done have not been done yet. Be an advocate for them. Make sure that you get those things done. Make sure you contact whoever needs to be contacted so that you can get those things done. For example, it might, for us, okay, in terms of general practice, which is where I am, you might find that an annual blood test hasn't been done. You are talking to a patient about an acute symptom, but you notice that, or it flags up that their blood test hasn't been done. You can talk to them about what they've come in with, but before they leave, make sure you make arrangements so that they can have that blood test done. Because they might not know about it. People are busy, and they might also have lost track of the fact that they need to have that blood test. So just be mindful and just be there for your patient as their advocate. Number 5, this is a big one. So be a team player. I think for us as physician associates, it's very key that we are team players, because in the UK, we work under the consultant or the lead general practitioner if you are working in primary care. So you need to be a team player, because the thing is, with the medical field, you are always working with different members of the team. You're working with nurses, nurse practitioners, advanced clinical physicians, also doctors, medical doctors, midwives, whatever, depending on your setting. So be a team player. Make sure that you alert the different people, the different bits that they need to do as well, and just be there. And if you notice that your colleague has forgotten to do XYZ, you can go ahead and do it. Or if it's not within your scope, tell them that, oh, by the way, you forgot to do XYZ, and then they can do that. So that's just part of taking care of the patient and also being part of the team, playing as a team member. Okay, because at the end of the day, we all want what's best for our patients. Number 6, take care of yourself. So as a medical professional, it's not unheard of that sometimes you can have burnout. You are looking after your patients, you are also being a team player, you are doing long hours, sometimes you're doing 12 hours or whatever the case may be, depending on your setting. And this is really a job where you are concentrating all the time. You always have to be alert all of the time. You can't put 50% of your efforts. It's always 100% all the time. So after you have poured out of that cup of goodness, you need to also pour into your cup. So make sure you look after yourself. Make sure you have a routine where you do some self-care, whatever the case may be. If it means just having a nice warm bath after work, if it means going to the gym, just do something for yourself. Very, 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 very important for your mental health and generally for your well-being as well. Do something for yourself so that you don't lose yourself, while doing the work that you're doing. Okay, and at the end of the day, you need to be at your optimum when you return to work. So look after yourself. Number 7, as a new graduate, it's very important to be open to feedback. So we do have appraisals where you sit with your supervisor or whoever it is that is looking after you professionally. Please make sure that you are open to feedback. They will tell you things that you've done well. They will possibly also tell you things that you've maybe not done as well. So these are areas that you need to improve. So don't take these things as a personal attack, but instead take them as something that you should work on. Because like I said, as a new graduate, you are new to the profession. There's a lot of things to learn. It's quite a big transition from being a student to when you actually are now working as a new graduate. So be patient with yourself, accept the feedback and actually work on it. Okay? So number 8, one of the key things that you do as a health professional is communicating. All the different forms of communication. You're communicating verbally, you are communicating in written form as well. So, and the other key thing is to listen, especially for us, definitely in general practice. A patient comes in with whatever symptoms they're coming in with. You need to have an open mind and actually listen to them and be actively listening, so that they are actually feeling that you are actually hearing what their concerns are. So don't brush their concerns off. Listen actively and actually give them the time to explain and express themselves. So this is very important as new graduates, but even as healthcare professionals at any level anyway. You need to be very good at communicating, and you need to be very good at doing the written stuff as well. So making sure that you write all your records, your reports properly and using proper language that is acceptable professionally. Make sure you record especially the red flag signs that they've communicated to you. If there are any, make sure you're very clear on that, because there's a rule that if it's not written, if it's not on black and white, it has not happened. So make sure you communicate and communicate verbally, and also communicate well when you write as well, so that if there is at any point where those records are required, whether for legal reasons or whatever the case may be, the records are there and up to date. Number 9, be adaptable. So when you are a healthcare professional, you work in different settings. So for us in general practice, you are working with other different healthcare professionals. You're working with advanced clinical professionals. You are working with advanced nurse practitioners. You're working with nurses. You're working with the general practitioner, the doctor themselves as well. You're working with whoever it may be. So be adaptable, be flexible, in other words, as well. Don't just be so tight in the way that things are done. Sometimes, like I said, if you notice that your colleague hasn't done this, or your colleague has not prescribed whatever they were meant to prescribe, if you can prescribe, if you have the prescribing rights, make sure you do that. Or if you can't prescribe, make sure you tell someone who can and get that done. So it's very important to be able to be adaptable to the different changes. And definitely in general practice, things are changing. It's not just the doctor, the nurses working there now. There are so many different professionals working there. Like I said, in my case, there's myself, I'm a physician associate, but also I work with an advanced nurse practitioner. I also work with an advanced clinical practitioner as well. So, and there are nurses who are also specialized. We've got the diabetes nurse, we've got the asthma nurse. So we've got all the different professionals working within that environment. So one needs to be very adaptable. And yeah, if you are, then you won't have a problem at all. Number 10, stay humble. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, as a new graduate, it can be very tempting to think that you have arrived, you know everything. But the truth of the matter is, medicine in itself is something that is always evolving. If you notice, even the guidance that we have, the guidelines that we have, they are always changing, every year, every 2 years, whatever the case may be. So make sure that you are humble and be willing to keep learning, from those around you, but also being up to date with definitely the new guidance. For us in the UK, our guidance is mainly the NICE guidelines, but there are other guidances which are very specific to different things or different conditions. So be always willing to learn, be willing to advance, to take any courses. If there are any courses that you can take those, because ultimately that's going to make you a much better practitioner. And I always say that, there is always room for improvement. That's my motto in life. I don't get to a point where I'm like, okay, I know everything. You don't know everything. No one does. So be humble. If you follow those 10 things as a new graduate, whether you are a new graduate physician associate, new graduate nurse, doctor, nurse practitioner, whatever the case may be, if you follow those 10 things, I assure you that you are going to have a much more pleasurable experience settling into working, professional working as a medical person. So I do hope this has been enlightening. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you have any feedback, I would be very interested to know, or if there's anything that you think I might have missed that that will be very helpful for a new graduate, then please comment down below. I'll be interested to know, and others will be very interested to know that as well. Otherwise, I will check you guys on another video. So stay tuned and share this, like this, and also subscribe. I will catch you on another video. Take care. Bye bye.